Welcome to this overview presentation of the MobileLogic Field Desk mobile paperless solution. In this video, we're going to go through dispatching calls to technicians so that you can see the actual flow process. I like to refer to MobileLogic Field Desk as your paperless mobile solution in the field. The technicians no longer have to fill out handwritten paper and forms. They now can record their information very simply on tablet devices in the field. For the office, I call this a paper-light solution for the office. The office now no longer has to try to read documents, piles of documents that are coming in from the field every day. They're able to get that information electronically sent to them so that they can turn around that information very quickly, call the technicians if there's any questions, and get the billings out immediately on a daily basis. In the office, your dispatchers take incoming telephone calls. They'll be taking those calls using the MobileLogic FieldOps software. When the call comes in, they're able to find the customer very quickly and go to the customer history. They'll go ahead and click on the new button in that customer history screen, and they'll start the call taking series. The information regarding this customer is rolled up on these screens. They can identify the problem, the notes that the individual customer is giving them on the phone regarding the description of their problem, and then that call lands directly on the dispatch board. From here, you can drag and drop that particular ticket to any of your technicians. And to get that ticket directly out to the field, we're going to click the cell phone tower and send that information directly out to their tablet device in the field. Bruce, out in the field now with his tablet device, pulls up his screen. He checks for messages and he can see that that particular call has landed right on his tablet screen. When he clicks the open button, he can communicate back to the office that he did get that call in a quick acknowledgement stamp. If he's within cell phone coverage right now, that information is going to be transmitted automatically back to the office, and the dispatcher is able to see that he was able to get that particular call. The next thing that Bruce is able to do on his tablet device is click the map button. Bruce can get his own directions now without having to ask the office. Bruce also has a series of tabs on his tablet regarding that service call from Academy of Merit. He can click on the Contacts tab and actually see the contacts that are at that particular location. He has the ability to change email addresses or update them and actually add another customer on the fly. This information will be pushed back to the office automatically. He also has the ability to take a look at the Equipment tab. This is the installed equipment that he has out at this particular Academy of Merit customer site location, and he can see the models and the serial numbers, where they're located, the installation dates, the warranty information, and if they're covered under a service agreement, it will actually show that here. Now, Bruce also has the option at this point of clicking the Options button and actually highlighting one of the pieces of equipment and actually seeing the detailed work order line items of what was done on a specific unit and all the components that were used. Of course, that's a pretty powerful tool when you're a technician out in the field to see what's happened on a specific piece of equipment. Other tabs that he has availability with is the Agreements tab, where he can see which pieces of equipment are covered under the agreement. The History tab gives him a list of all of the work orders, at least the last 12 to 15 or 20 or so he can see who's been out on the job prior to him going out there. The actual problem, which we're going to look at in just a minute, the ability to build quotes. He can record the labor and the parts and the miscellaneous parts that he has on that job. If in fact this is a residential or you're requiring payments, he can go ahead and click the Payments tab. Miscellaneous forms, he can have attachments and see timestamps. So let's take a look at the rest of these in a brief snapshot. The History tab gives him that snapshot of the individual work orders, the last 15 or 20, and who's been out on the job prior to him. He, of course, cannot eliminate or delete any of these, but he can review these very quickly for historical purposes. Now, clicking on the Problems tab, he's been called out because there was a no power, the system would not turn on, and the dispatcher in the office wrote a note, "No electric, cannot start this morning per Joe." He can go ahead and click the Tech Notes button here and start to type if he wishes to. Well, Bruce probably types like me and does have typing mistakes. In this case, we have an automatic spell checker that's on here, so all he has to do is point to the correct spelling of the word that he needs. We also have a very powerful tool on here called Snippets. Snippets gives you the ability, the service manager or installation manager in the office, to actually build sentences or phrases that are fairly typical that he runs into all the time. You can categorize those phrases, and then he can pull down a simple drop-down list, click those phrases directly into the box. When the technician is finished doing the work, it's very simple for him to go ahead and record the parts, the labor, the miscellaneous line items, or if you're using flat rates, for him to pull up the flat rate codes to record the work that's been performed. He also has the capability, obviously, of creating quotes while he's out on the job for the customer to pre-approve. In this example, Bruce is going to go ahead and record parts that he used. He can go ahead and start to type a part number or a description, and it will automatically pull up everything that matches what he's requesting. He can pick and choose what it is he's looking for, and the same thing with labor and miscellaneous items. Those items will build his register much like him handwriting it right into the work order form. He can also go ahead and identify his recommendations. And again, the snippets is a very powerful tool here. Using the snippets, he can have these simple phrases of recommendations that he can just click and point and drop directly into his notes. At this point, let's assume that this is a customer that's going to give us a payment. For commercial accounts, we recognize the fact that you may or may not get payments, so this tab is optional. If a payment is required for this customer, Bruce can go ahead and click the Payments tab, and we can go ahead and accept either a cash, check, or even take a credit card directly through the tablet device. At this point, if we'd like to go ahead and print the receipt for the customer, it will show the information that has been recorded for the work that was performed, either with or without the dollar amounts on it in the case of commercial work, with your terms and the signature. This can be either emailed and or printed if you do have a printer in your truck. Another very powerful feature of the MobileLogic Field Desk is its ability to allow the technicians in the field to use forms that they're accustomed using when they're doing checklist and or preventive maintenance calls or any type of situation where they need to complete existing paperwork that is specific to a company. With MobileLogic Field Desk, you can send these forms directly over to MobileLogic, and they will turn those forms into actual documents that can show directly up on your tablet devices. Here are some examples. Here's an example of an air conditioning maintenance checklist form where MobileLogic has automated their existing form to put the company information on along with the technician's name and the address of when the work is being performed and the work order number, and allowing the technician to physically write or check in the boxes here, capture signatures, or just put check marks in throughout the form. This form is automatically attached back in the office, so it does not need to be scanned, and it can be either emailed or printed directly to the customer. Other examples from some of our customer, in this case a maintenance work order form where this form was automated with hotspots to be able to allow the technician just to click and it automates and puts checks in these boxes. Another form example, the same type, where it's a maintenance checklist form. In this example, there are timesheet capabilities where the technician's work order information and the hours worked can automatically populate these types of daily or weekly timesheet forms. All kinds of different forms that customers use with Field Desk can be streamlined and automated directly in the system. Throughout the job, Bruce can communicate back and forth to the office his status by using timestamps. Initially, he acknowledged back to the office and an update of the dispatch board. He also has the opportunity to indicate to the office that he's traveling, there was no answer or no one available, when he starts the job, when he's ready to wrap up, if in fact he needs to suspend the job because it cannot be completed. All of these timestamps can be updated back to that dispatch board so the dispatcher knows exactly the status of the job. When Bruce is finished with the job, he indicates that it's completed. And what happens is it will automatically bring up a timesheet. It shows the work order for that particular customer, when it was dispatched, when he arrived and started the job, and when he clicked completed. There'll be a series of questions that you can customize here, which we call completion checks. You can customize up to 6 different questions that the technician has to identify and answer either yes or no. Obviously, this is important information that the office would like to have. Did he apply the stickers? Did he get hurt on the job? Did the job involve any warranty parts? Did he turn in a sales lead? Did he upgrade a covered repair? You get to define those questions. Once he answers those questions, this information is again updated back to the office directly to your field ops software so that the information is now completed in the office. When Bruce answered the questions on the completion checks, each of those questions rolled back into the office automatically to a list. An open and closed jobs for billing list, open quotes needed perhaps, needs follow-up for service agreements. This is a follow-up list that the office has now available as a powerful tool to make sure that open items get completed. The information that's been recorded back in the office is ready and available for the person that does the billing now to finish the invoicing. On the dispatch board in Field Ops in the office, you have the call on the dispatch board that indicates that it now is completed. A very simple way of initiating a billing is just to right-click on the ticket, and this is one of several ways. Go directly to the billing register and the Notes tab, and you can see the information that's been accumulated automatically by Bruce in the field and pushed back to the office. All of his notes have been recorded here. We can see any attachments, and this would of course include the time and material that he's recorded, along with the signature, any payments that he's accumulated from the field, the answers to the questions, the forms that he had completed in the field are automatically transferred here to the office. And for your billing person, the billing register has been filled in with the parts and the labor that he's recorded. Obviously, the person in the office can call Bruce up now and ask him any questions that are open regarding this particular customer, and at this point immediately go ahead and finish this, make any changes, and create the invoice. The billing then is done, and we're not waiting for paperwork to come in. All of the timestamps from him in the field have been recorded, along with the actual costs associated with the parts and the labor. This concludes our brief overview of the MobileLogic Field Ops Field Desk Mobile Solution, the best field service mobile solution available. To arrange a personal demonstration, please give us a call at area code 888-272-7474 or on the web at mobilelogicfieldops.com.